Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Channel 42. This is In the Cafe. Today we have a very, very, very special guest with us. He was able to make a quick interview early after being featured. Today we have one of the greatest builders that a lot of us have ever seen. We have Beeblebum. Beeblebum Go. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show today. I can't say enough about some of your builds. I was going through so many of them over the weekend when I was featuring you, and holy smokes, yeah, just holy smokes. So I got lots of questions to ask you. So I'm going to start off with like a couple of easy ones. Like,
Yep, yep.
all right. So where are you from? What I hear the accent. I know you're European. Whereabouts are you from?
Well, originally I was born in Belgium.
Belgium. Okay.
Yes, I've been living there for a most of my life, yeah.
Okay, all right. So now, what's it like out there this time of year? I've never been to Belgium.
Well, I would say now it's rainy and yeah, cold. I think that would be the perfect way to describe Belgium at the moment.
Yeah, well, it is winter, right? So
Yeah, yeah. But
it's
yeah, I don't know now exactly anymore. I just now have to think 15 years. I've been, yeah, 15 years, something like that, out of Belgium. So I'm living somewhere else.
nice. Okay. Well, you know what? That's home. That's home for you.
Yeah, well, I've been all over the place a bit, and every place is home for me. So
yeah. Oh, wow. So you're a little bit of a traveler in real life too.
I was not a traveler when I was young,
Uh-huh.
but I kind of got the bug when I got older.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to see other cultures or countries.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed. I haven't done a lot of it, but I love to do more. And Belgium is somewhere I think I would like to go. It just sounds beautiful. Is it true? Is the chocolate better there?
Yeah, I think some people will disagree, of course, like the Swiss.
Hey, they got their
But
cheese. Forget that.
yeah, but the Swiss have good chocolate. But yeah, I have to agree. Belgium chocolate, I have not tasted any better yet.
Excellent.
I'm more of a beer drinker, of course, so Belgian beer is my top
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah, well, it's right up there as far as original beers, right? So,
Hmm.
excellent. What kind of beer do you drink?
Kind of beer, kind of everything.
Little of
There's
everything.
a
Okay.
Yeah, because in Belgium we have, I don't know now, I think the production is 1,300 different kinds of beers in Belgium.
Oh, wow. That's a
Um,
wow, what a
yeah,
delight.
that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's a
going to
lot of
Belgium.
beers. I would for sure go to Bruges. That's one of my favorite cities in
Bruges.
Belgium.
I'm gonna
Bruges,
write.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Excellent. So, all right. Well, it's winter here, West Coast. Believe it or not, it's actually snowing again in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Twice in one year. It's very rare, but what the heck? Why not?
yeah.
Yeah, it'll melt in a day, I'm sure. Um, so now, how long you been playing No Man's Sky?
Since day one, I actually was waiting for the game to be released at midnight. At the first second the game released, I jumped on and played for it straight 48 hours.
Oh, right. I wasn't quite as lucky, but I did almost the same. I went down the next day and picked it up, and I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down
Mm,
at all. I had to go to work. I came home. I picked it right back up again. Um, I absolutely just love the game. Um,
mm,
you've been playing since day one, and recently we've noticed you on Amino and your YouTube channel,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you've got all these amazing builds, and you've been streaming with a lot of other big names and great streamers. Where where did you come from? Like, where have you been this whole time?
Well, I have to say, in the beginning, No Man's Sky was not really that community based and orientated. Um, it was only since I actually started building and found out when I started watching, for example, Kibbles and JC Hysteria's tutorials about what the hell can I build this and this, and I really was so intrigued. And yeah, I started from there, and then I got in contact with Boyd Gaming. He did my first. He did actually featured my first base, the Western Village.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that one.
And yeah, from there it just roller coastered into getting into to Amino and getting into several kinds of groups, getting
Wow.
to know people.
See,
It
now
went really quick, yeah.
that that's actually very interesting and exciting at the same time. The fact that you played for 3 years without a community or
Hmm.
did you have other friends that you could play with, or was it just all solo?
To be honest, the friends I have are not really No Man's Sky players. They are more like action shooters, which is okay for me as well because I like them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my friends, we have a bit of a different ideas about different consoles, so the cross-play would have been interesting. But yeah,
Okay.
I think I have been playing most of the time alone in the beginning
Oh wow.
until base building hit my eye.
Wow, that you know what? That's amazing to be honest with you. Myself, I felt a need to try and get together with other players and
Hmm.
communities and so on. I started on Twitch and hanging out with Twitch streamers and we'd get together and meet up before there was even multiplayer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I found Amino, and that's where I found my home with a
yeah,
community.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm glad that you found us too. It may have taken a few years, but hey, maybe it's well worth the wait because
I
you
think
know,
so.
yeah, yeah, to see how people come out of the woodwork and they've got such
Hmm.
amazing things and they've done so many amazing things. Are you are you a traveler like outside of Euclid as well, or you just sort of stay around?
Uh, well, like I said, the first 48 hours when I played No Man's Sky, I reached the center and was straight to the other one. What's the name again? I think it was an H. Hilbert. I forgot the name now of the second
Oh,
system.
oh, Hilbert, yes, yeah,
Hilbert, yes, indeed,
yeah.
Hilbert.
Oh my goodness, my
And
jaw dropped there. Wow.
and I did all the first. I actually reached Acentum before the new update dropped, where you could use the Atlas to get there.
Yeah.
So I did the 10 jumps in the first, maybe half, I would
Uh-huh.
say 2 months or something, and I got a nice and down in the first 2 months, something like that.
Uh-huh. I know. Now I know where I remember your name from. I've seen it in the galactic map. Yes. Yeah, I got worms. That's somebody I haven't seen in a long time. Beeblebum. There's quite a few names that I remember in the Galactic Atlas, and I too, within the first couple of weeks, made it to the center and just kept going. Um,
Hmm.
and that's really cool. So you've done a lot of traveling, and yet you've come back to do some building and hang out. And
Hmm.
I would imagine your OG save is probably how far out did you get?
As in how far out? I stopped at Acentum. That's
Okay.
where I didn't go any further anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I was playing this game, I don't know if you recall the game Spore.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it's quite similar if you compare it with the next No Man's Sky, as in a lot of the same stories, like the Sentinel, the Grox, and
Oh, do we lose you?
uh,
Oh, you're
I
back.
should be back.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem is I have to make sure that my controller stays on.
Ah, whoops.
um, s- what was I saying? So yeah, Spore, you have to reach the center of the galaxy. And but at the moment when you reach the galaxy, you get an answer there. You get told what the creator is telling you. And I had the feeling, like, okay, I have to reach the center. I need to know the answer for this. I have to be the first to reach the center.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why I. And then I reached the center and I just landed on a new system.
Yeah, I know
So
it was so climactic, and then you land, and you're like, oh,
yeah, yeah,
damn, all
that
my
was for me
stuff's
the biggest
broken.
disappointment when I played that game. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I love crossing to the center,
Hmm.
and for me, picking myself back up and getting going again, and racing to the next center. That's where I really
Hmm. Hmm.
had a lot of fun myself.
Yeah.
Um, I got together with a couple of streamers, and we jumped through center and raced through the galaxies. It was a lot of fun. It's almost a shame I never ran into you out there. Um, wow. That's excellent. Eisentam's such a beautiful galaxy,
Yes,
and
it's my favorite.
yeah, of all the lush galaxies out there, Eisentam so far, I've been to 95. So far, uh, the best of all the
Hmm.
nicest lush galaxies. Eisentam stands out to be absolutely one of the prettiest that I've seen. Um, there may be others, but from what I can tell, Tam is far better than Idorja
Hmm. Hmm.
and Sudzerbil and so on and so forth. Um,
Yeah.
so no, obviously you love building. Did you always love building in the game?
Uh, well, when I don't know when we got the first building, I was at foundation updates,
Hmm.
and that was quite basic. It's just putting some cylindrical rooms down, and you could put some cubes and corridors, but it kind of felt very limited.
Yes.
So it didn't catch my attention at that time. So I think I have lost not interest, but I started playing other games during that time. So I played a bit during Next, and then suddenly when Beyond dropped, that was like the moment for me to get back completely full time into the game.
Wow. Okay. So wow, you're a well experienced traveler, and then you just picked up base building, and I guess it's sort of like a love or maybe a new hobby. Um, are you very like architecturally inclined?
I wouldn't say architecturally. Yeah, that word. That's difficult for
I
me to
know
say. It
that's a
seems.
tough one off the roll off the tongue, isn't it?
I'm better with my hands than with my mouth, to be honest.
Well, your English is
Um,
very good.
okay, thank you. But I do love building, and I feel very happy with creative work when I do it with my hands. So building in wood, I've been doing a lot of that in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
So doing this now in the digital world is kind of an extension of my hobby, as in yeah,
Well,
building and creating.
you're creating, or you call it building. It's not even. I don't call it building myself. It's
Hmm.
statuesque. It's creative, artistic. You're sculpting. You're sculpting with the landscape that they've given you and the products. You have made some beautiful sculptures. Like, and I don't mean just like really good stuff. Like beautiful. Like flowers are beautiful. Your your
Hmm.
work is beautiful. It really is. Like you use the components and the colors so well. It's amazing. We're gonna have to check a couple of those things out, maybe a little bit after the interview here, or maybe we'll take
Yeah,
another
great.
short video of that as well, because it's just stunning to look at some of your stuff and up close when you realize the parts that you've used. It's just jaw dropping.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you play the game for that long, what keeps you coming back? Because you haven't done one thing the whole time. You've been everywhere.
Yeah, but I have to say, if base building would have not happened now, I think I would have lost a bit the interest now in just flying around. You know what I mean, and exploring
Hmm.
planets.
Yeah.
And that point, I do agree with a lot of people that wants to see more variation in the game. That it needs to be more variety to get the game interesting.
I agree.
But for
Yeah.
building, you create your own thing. You're not contained by the game itself. You
Hmm.
just do what you feel like and what you have in your mind.
So,
Um,
well, it's funny you say that because it was quite limited at first with the building,
mhm.
and even still, a lot of people find that building is a little bit limited in what you can do.
Yeah.
Recently, you and a few other great builders have stumbled upon this amazing new technique. Um,
Mhm.
you call it glitch building, or sorry, no, I got this all wrong. I'm not a builder, so I get the terminology all wrong. Uh, uh, Please remind me what you guys are calling this.
So yeah, the summary of what we're doing is actually glitch building. So everything together is glitch building. There is
Okay.
several techniques you can use for it. The
Hmm.
last one we discovered, and that was together with Action Pants Gaming,
Yes.
was the at that time we called it the Blender glitch.
The blender glitch. I almost had
Um,
it.
but we have kind of updated the name now to the Tier 2 Plus,
Okay.
because after some more experimenting, we found out that it has so much more possibilities that it almost compares with the Tier 2 that disappeared some time ago.
Wow. That's amazing. So Now,
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, for those of us who don't know, what exactly is Tier 2 building?
So I can summarize the three, four, I think it's now four techniques that exists. Okay. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
So
Yeah.
you have the first one, which is called the adjacency glitch. That
Okay.
means you just are placing an item that is right next to your other item that is green, that is possible to green state. So for example, I cannot put a paving on a floor tile, but I can put a pipe on a floor tile. So
Yes.
if I move quickly enough and place the item during the transition, I will place the paving instead of the pipe. So
Okay.
that's the adjacency glitch.
Right. That was one of the first ones that we learned.
Yes, that was
Yes.
the first one, and actually for me the easiest one, and has a lot of possibilities to get something special out of your boat.
Oh, wow.
But then we had the tier 2 glitch, and I think that was actually discovered. I'm not pretty sure, but I think it was discovered by Action Pants Gaming. But with the Beyond update, that glitch disappeared, so they could not do it anymore. And that was by dropping into another menu and dropping and going up again and placing objects from different menus by glitching. But as it doesn't exist anymore, it's not. Yeah, I don't need to explain it.
Okay.
Then we had the other one. It's called the wire glitch, and this was found out by Kibbles. And the wire glitch is actually you put a object in green state wherever you want it. You just have to have it in green state. Then you press your button. So I think it's the R2, where you kind of ask your wire. You know, when you want to wire up things, you can kind of go to the quick menu where you have delete wire color.
Yeah.
So you go to the wire and then you use the same technique, like almost like adjacency, but you release the wire at the moment you want to place it, and you will place the object on the position where you had your wire connection.
Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. I'm gonna check this out.
If you look at, I have a tutorial on my website, on my channel that explains the first three
I saw them.
already.
Yes, I started watching them, but unfortunately I didn't
Yeah.
have time to see them all. But I'll be watching them. Yes.
And now the last one is, I don't know how to explain this. We have been so in awe with this glitch. And it started off with a guy called Banjo, which we didn't know who he was. We just met him now recently, and Boyd Gaming had shared the glitch with us. And while using this glitch, the Banjo glitch, which is actually using the same like you would do a wire glitch, but instead of wire glitching, you connect your wire first to an electrical connection and then use this as like a step in between. And then you do the wire glitch like you would do it. So that's the Banjo glitch, which allowed you to put things that were underwater, for example, above water.
Okay.
But now, when we were experimenting with that Banjo glitch, Kevin and me, Action Pants, we discovered that we could actually now rotate these things by connecting them to a second electrical point, or we could even blend them inside other parts. And the possibilities are endless now. We are so, I mean, we have been now 3 days in a row playing around with this glitch, and we are every time amazed with what it just will bring. And if people are going to be using that, what amazing bases are going to get out of this result as a result.
It's amazing. It blows my mind. Some of the designs that you made in just a few short hours. Once you guys learn that technique, there's a tremendous buzz in the community, in the streaming community right now, and a lot of the builders there. It's like this huge light went off, and all of a sudden everybody's got these light bulbs in their head of new ideas they can do. It's brilliant. And whether it's a glitch or not, or part of the game, it should be, because it's excited the community to be able to build amazing structures. Masterpieces, really. And you know, the ones that have been great builders already with, you know, the components and the limited fashions, those guys are already amazing. Putting this tool in the hands of those guys like yourself and Boyd and Ashafacta and other guys, you know, my goodness. it blows my mind some of the things that you guys can do. And I saw a couple of pictures right after you guys figured it out, and my jaw just drops. Like this is completely different for No Man's Sky. Like
Yes.
it just changes the landscape of what you can do and how you can do it, and all the objects that you're able to do it with. It literally, it's every object at your disposal.
Yeah, it's true. And we are just crossing our fingers and hoping No Man's Sky Hello Games doesn't fix it.
I hope that, this is one bug I hope they don't, because I think this is a
Yeah.
good thing for the game. The game needs to realize it and expand building for the ones that really want it.
Yeah.
It's worth it, right? It helps the community. It keeps the community playing, and
Yeah.
it's very multiplayer interactive,
It is.
right? Because I mean, and you guys have been doing other things as well. What was that? It wasn't a contest, but it was one person would start building, and the next person
Yeah.
would take over. How many people did you get for that to do it?
Well, it's also Action Pants. He has a lot of good ideas in doing these things, and he organized the first one, and I think it was, I have to think now. We had, I think, in total 7 people building on that,
Wow, that's pretty good.
and he called it the pass the build, which is like you have these drawing games where you draw out something on the path, you pass the path to somebody else, and then
Yeah.
they draw continuously, and like that continue.
I like it.
So we did the same. We did the same as building, and it was a fun thing because not only you see something very weird as a result, but I learned in that half an hour, not in half an hour, but in the time I was there and looking what they were doing. I like, hey, you're doing it like that. You catch so much quickly up, like new techniques and easier styles to make something. I was
Absolutely.
impressed with I mean, people that I usually know that I build with, but I didn't catch up with some techniques they used.
Right. And that's the thing about multiplayer. You learn from other people. You see how they do things in different ways, and it gives you experience and knowledge to do it for yourself, and then it shapes your artistic mind as well. And I mean, a lot of the things that are being built right now, they're not specifically like a something like a flower vase or a pot or so. It's art, a sculpture.
Yes, yeah.
No specific shape or form. It's what's come out of what you guys have done with the geometry of the wires, and it's beautiful. Like even just looking at the wires without the stuff is
Yeah,
amazing. It just blows my mind what you guys are doing, and I'm really proud of the community for jumping in and supporting you guys, yourself and Action Pants Gaming for getting on board and sharing this with everybody, because that's the community spirit. That's the cafe way, right? And we're all having fun doing it, because it's no point if you're not having fun. So
No,
I
totally.
gotta say, yeah, I mean, I'm just blown away with everything. One of the other things that you guys have done is you've started up your own server. So you've got this new server that collects all these builders, and you're able to share all your great ideas with them. Do you want to tell us about your new server?
Well, I don't know how this actually all came out of it, but we how do you say it? Let me rephrase that. I was not part of the group that before, so I was building, and I met Boyd, and I did some things together with Boyd, and suddenly I was invited to this group of people that I actually was how you say, I looked up to them as a builder. So Action Pants Gaming was there, ER Burrows, JC Hysteria, Kibbles.
Great names.
There's yeah,
Great names.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So, and I was invited to that group. I felt so honored to be, invited to this group. But this was just a chat group, so talking to each other, sharing some information. And then you have also Drizzleditch, if you know him.
Oh, I don't
He,
know him. I know of him. I wish I knew
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I need to get a
He's
hold of
doing a
him for
lot
an
of
interview too.
Yeah, he's doing great builds as well. He's doing very, how you call them, very mechanical, industrial builds, and I love his style.
Yes.
Now he came out with the new logo, and he sent this logo to us and said, "Guys, what do you think? You want to use this in your videos?" So he made this logo with the Pan Galactic Buildings Federation. and we just dropped it around in our videos because we like the community feel of it, the group feel of it. And yeah, from one thing came the other when we decided that the chat might be very difficult to organize ourselves, things like that. So we ended up in creating this Discord group, which is called PBF, Pan Galactic Building Federation. And so we are trying to be a group of builders that can support other builders and giving any support they need. If they have questions, they can drop them now in Discord. If they want to show their pictures of their build bases of, they can do that as well. And that way we can kind of also give them advice if they need anything or things like that.
Excellent. I love the idea. Yeah, that's a great idea, and it's all builders, right? And you guys can all sort of hang out and exchange ideas. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. Myself, thank you for the invite. I feel terribly out of place since I can't build anything more than a square box. But seeing a lot of what you guys can do, it gives me ideas on what I can do, and I may not have the skill to accomplish what you guys can do, but it inspires me, and it inspires others like me to do works of art of their own. And I'm glad that you guys stream, put yourselves out there. It's not easy to stream and to do it, as frequently as you guys do. It's very difficult to manage that time when you have a real life and a family and everything that goes on with it. So kudos to you and all those others that you've been streaming with, Action Pants Gaming specifically. We got to get him in here at some point.
Yeah, you have to, for sure.
Oh, definitely. You guys are just fantastic. I just love the way you guys are rolling and doing things. It warms my heart to know that the community is very strong and alive, and there's so many great people like yourself out there, really good-natured people who would do anything for another player just to help out or teach them something, and that's the community spirit. That's the No Man's Sky community that we've all been, promoting and shaking our fists in the air and shouting "Hoorah!" Right? I mean, that's the thing, right? It's the best community ever. I've never been a part of anything bigger.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So, we haven't. You haven't had the pleasure of traveling past Eisentam. If you're interested, we'd love to have you over in 42, the Zoberange Galaxy. You're more than welcome to join us at any time. Just let us know when you're ready for a little lift over there, and we'll put you in one of the hubs that we're sort of working on out there. And that's one of the cafe's little treat. Last year was we made the journey to 42. That was a really great journey. Would you, if it was going on now, would you be interested in a journey like that?
Most likely. Depends a bit, of course, how much time it takes. Like I said, I'm trying to.
It took us 7 weeks. Took us 7 weeks.
What?
7 weeks.
Took you 7 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's with we had there was the first wave was 7 of us, and we were bouncing off of each other. We probably could have done it maybe a little faster, but we were bouncing off of each other, so one person would warp an entire galaxy in a day.
Yeah, okay.
And then they would multiplayer jump everybody to them, and then the next person who has time would take over, and we would have a 24-hour run where we would just continuously be warping. And when I'd get off work and be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me jump over, and then I go to sleep and wake up, and when I wake up, I would warp and bring everybody along with me, and it was a lot of fun. And we may try and do that again someday as one of the other cafe events. And if we do, I'd love to have you alongside us traveling. That would be a real pleasure.
Update my starship.
You know what? If you're like me, it doesn't take long. You just, hey, I like this one here. Perfect. I juggle starships all the time. Even my old One Wings, I juggle them. But we'll see. Maybe HG will fix those. I've got one last question for you, and I'm really curious to hear what your answer is, because you're such a well-traveled explorer. Do you, sir, have the answers to life, the universe, and everything else in between?
Nope.
Well,
Uh,
if you're like us, then keep searching. And right now we're searching in 42, and we think there's a pretty good thing out there that might be a clue as to what the answer is.
I think everybody only knows the answer to that when they die, I think.
Yeah, or close to it. You never know. But thank you so much
Um,
for your honest opinion and your answer. Um, you know what? You never know what you're going to get when you ask a question like that. And I mean, we've had bacon. That's my personal favorite. Bacon is a damn good answer. We've had 42 a number of times. We've had what is the question? That's another one, right? A question with a question.
mm,
We've had so many great ones, and I'm going to add yours to the tally as well, because I sure as hell don't know. That's why I'm out there in 42 looking. Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the show. We've got some,
thank you.
we've probably got a little bit of time. Are you interested in, showing us one or two of your builds?
Yeah, sure. I can look for. I think actually, I think I would like to show you Winterfell.
Excellent. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then. I'm going to. We'll finish off the show. We'll say
All
thank you
right.
very, very much for being on the show. I'm so excited and pleased that you're able to join us and to give us your time today for the show. Um, you're just an amazing fella. Class act.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for being here. We're really happy and proud to have you part of the cafe, and just doing your thing, sharing it with others. Excellent, excellent stuff, man. Just
Thanks.
excellent.
Cheers.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to end it very shortly here, and I'll pick up with a new video when we get to your next new base, and that way I don't run short on time and screw up
Cool.
the whole interview. So we'll have this one, and it'll be in the can. Ladies and gentlemen, Beeblebum, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It was an honor to be here.
Hey, you know what? The honor is all mine.
Mm.
Like you say, you're in awe of some of those other builders. I'm in awe of you and the things that
Okay,
you do.
thank you.
That yeah. And it's funny how there's a lot of us are in awe of each other. It just goes that way. Um, Excellent stuff, man. Excellent stuff. Okay, all right. We'll just do a little pan back. Thank you very much, everyone, and join us in the next video coming shortly, right after this.